All right, welcome back to another episode. Well, really, not episode. Welcome back to another board drill quick hit.
Quick
As
hits.
usual, As usual, I'm your host Kyle. With me is my co-host Matt. Matt, like usual, just to explain to everybody who hasn't watched a quick hit before, what I do is I create a playlist. I do not show it to Matt, and then we talk about it. So it's real fun. Today, at least, is in Matt's favor. We're going to talk about a little D-line stunts and whether the offensive line did a good job or a bad job picking them up. Now, in all reference, in all seriousness, this entire playlist was put together from good D-line stunts, so maybe the offensive line does a good job, maybe they don't. But there are definitely some great examples in there. So, Matt, I'm going to go ahead and share it, and we're going to talk about some D-line stunts and whether they picked it up or not. You ready?
I'm excited. Let's break this down.
As you can be, right?
All right.
All right, here we go. First one. This is Mercer and Rhode Island in the playoffs.
All right. Do we have a down and distance? No, we don't have a down and distance. Man, it must be a third and long. It must be a third and long here.
We'll down and distance it. Hold on. So here we go.
We're calling that double eagle
first and 10,
or something?
not third and long. First and 10. Here we go.
They are 2-3 techniques. Oh, here we go.
So we get a little bit of a nice jam stunt there. Right, the left side's where we're focusing on. Nice move here by the D tackle, or by the D end inside. It's what I call a jam, right? The D end is going to go through, try to work through the 3 tech. He ends up working through the 5 tech, and then 3 techs in a wrap.
Yeah, so it looks like it looks to me like for offensively the center. It looks like a big on big 5-on-5 scenario they went with here, where the center would be ISO'd up on that middle linebacker if he goes
he drops back, so obviously.
Yeah, so center's going to take the next thread. Looks pretty decent from the schematically from the O-line. Could have been executed, I guess, a little bit better off that left side by 79, but
yeah, we get a hold here very clearly. I don't know if they call it or not, but it's a hold.
Yeah.
But nice start. Mercer is a really good defense. Keep in mind they led the league in tackles for loss in the FCS. They're fantastic, but they're an effort team, right? And the DN does a great job. Now, typically, when we teach this, again, I'm not teaching it at Mercer, but I'm just talking about it here, that they want this guy right here he's going to pick this guy and then get vertical, right? He's going to touch, make sure his run gap's good, and then wrap. But here we get, right now, he goes to work to the 3 tech, or to the guard. The guard really is locked up on 3 techs, so he just takes the path of least resistance here, does a great job, gets a hold.
Yeah,
so
quite the pass, the whoever the offense was there, the stances from the tackles,
it's interesting. So
interesting.
All right, here we go. North Dakota State. Now a little better pickup here. We know what this O-line's all about. So we're going to get now the opposite, what I call a pop stunt. So you're going to see the 3 tech get vertical off the tackle, and then the 5 tech is going to wrap inside. So we get it at the top of the screen here, and really it's a quick, but this is a nice pickup by them. They do a very good job passing this off, Matt.
Yeah, so pretty easy. It looks like the center is going to call that to the A-gap defender, which is the same thing I would usually do against a standard defense. And that way, you're looking for that linebacker to blitz A to back to the left side B gap. So it looks pretty standard, common here. Seems 62 does a pretty good job. Could have stayed a little square. Pretty good job picking that up, forcing that guy inside on the start.
But even the center, watch his eyes, right? He gets that nice post on the double team. Now watch his head snap right back to the other side.
Yep.
They're very cognitive on that O-line, and we'll see it right here. Several clips. North Dakota State does a great job. They get beat a couple times, but they do a pretty good job. Same style stunt here. This time hits a little cleaner for them, right? A little tougher. It's going to be on our right side if we're looking at the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, 70. The offensive guard looks like he gets really involved there. The eyes are up over the toes and kind of gets off balance there, trying to get his hands on 91.
Yep.
Be a little bit more patient there.
Great job by 91, drawing 2 guys. He's going to work the pick. In a perfect world, obviously he gets shoved here. He'd like to be on the inside shoulder, ends up outside, but the job gets done. 0 does a good job getting vertical, and then boom, right across the face there. North Dakota State's just good at getting the ball out, right? This is a good job of just realizing, boom, get it out. So there you go, 2nd and 10. Same style. They run this pop stunt a lot. This time with that walk, right? We're trying to get that big on big protection, like you talked about, Matt, by walking the Mike backer there. And this time you're going to love the center on this one, Matt. This is one for you.
All right, I saw it. Yes. God, that's awesome. That's an awesome job. He sees 15 backpedal.
Turns.
He reacts.
Bam.
Oh, man.
And I think this is the thing for offensive linemen is the great ones do this, right? 15's not coming. Let me go hunt the crap out of somebody and just, right, blows up 2 guys here. This is all in the center. I mean, the guard does a good job of posting everything, but boy, does the center do a great job here.
Much better job here by 74, the left guard.
Yeah.
Staying balanced and not biting in too much. Stays a little bit more balanced in his stance. So he gets his hands to him, but he doesn't get up over his toes. He stays back. Waits on 94 to come to him.
And if you want to talk about a great way to wreck a stunt, I mean, this is it right here. Bang on that side. The other side picks it up nice and clean. You're good to go. He's got all day, throws a crossing route for a nice big gain for North Dakota State.
God, coaches, show your centers that film.
I know.
That is awesome.
All right, 3rd and 16. We got the long one. Now this is the one I believe that, right? So they're in a loaded front, right? That boss front. So here's their D lineman right here. And then there's their backer on the right side. So this is the one I sent you, Matt, where the DN makes a hell of a move here. So similar to that pop stunt, but now he's going to work towards the A gap and boom, throw the spin on the guard. And to be honest with you, right, this is just a great play by the defense, correct?
Yeah, that's Zero just winning against that guard, getting him his momentum going one way. You got to think that guard, he's setting out, and he's going back in, and then that spin move makes him change direction again. 3rd different direction, out then in, then back out. Guards aren't built for that.
And that's just it, right?
That's hard to practice. Yeah.
That guy also can't make that play 10 times a game, or maybe even twice, because later on he tries it, and I believe the guard stones him on it.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough on the offensive guard there. Really does a good job staying square, staying balanced, and being there for Zero. Zero just gets him with that move.
I'll tell you what, here's my little other note here. 99, the nose here. Watch how quickly he actually is going to loop around the opposite end. The big guy looks pretty athletic here. Watch it. Look at him go.
Oh, man.
He gets out there.
He's excited for it, too, man. He gets all the way around there, and he's changes direction, speed again at the end.
Not a bad job.
Coach, didn't you have some stats on Mercer's defensive line or defense in general? Weren't they one of the top in FCS last year?
They were, I believe, that led the country in turnovers, led the country in interceptions, led the country in tackle for loss, led the country on defensive touchdowns. They had 8 defensive touchdowns, and only 4 were pick sixes. So half of those are fumbles, strip sacks. So they were a pretty darn good defense. Now, they had a couple games where they got, Samford lit them up pretty good. But for the most part, this unit was elite in the FCS, and it was really fun to watch them get after it. And they're not overly complex. They do some great D-line stuff, but they're quarters-based team. They ran some cover 3, some fire zone, some cover 1, but they were pretty much a quarters-based team. So here we go, one more pop stunt. That seemed to be the flavor for Mercer, and I think this time he tries to do the same thing, and the guy catches him, right? Tries to do the spin move, and it's not working this time.
Yeah.
Although one does a nice job
by
here.
One, though. Yeah.
Yep. But this is a pure effort thing, right? He realizes he has a 2-way go on the pass rush here. He's going to swipe across the hands and just work. So I wouldn't even call that, as much of a stunt as it is just a good pass rush there. But North Dakota State, all in all, I think got the better of Mercer this day on the O-line, and then dropping the bucket in there.
And go back to that right guard, coach, right here where he gets the spin move. Big thing that's really hard to teach offensive linemen, especially at the high school level, you're dealing with young guys, is when they go to spin, being able just to roll them. I used to teach the O-line, just roll him as he goes. He's not putting pressure upfield. Let him roll. Yeah. Let him spin, and it's not trying to latch on. When you latch on, that's where you lose against that spin. The guard does a good job here, keeping his hands moving and rolling them out, as I say.
All right, this time we're going to get a double jam. So, again, this is where the 3 techs are going to be the loopers. This is one where I thought they did a heck of a job. I mean, watch the right side here. You know, obviously it breaks down late, but for them to get, one should have gotten out there and the tackle kicks all the way out to them. You know, you can talk about it better than I can, but I thought this was just active by them, right? They're always the heads on a swivel. They understand how to pass guys off. You know, I don't know how to teach that, but they do a great job of doing that.
Yeah, even watch the center. He's always looking for work. He doesn't really have much to do in this front and this stunt, but and he's active. His feet are moving. He's looking for somewhere to go.
He really wants to level 0 here. He wants to do it right there.
So I would have liked 76. I would have liked to see him just stick with 94 there once he sees that loop.
Yeah,
not get too far into it. Sit there and wait on 94 to come to you, and I think he would have been fine.
But all in all,
tackle does a great job resetting.
Yeah, you can't complain. Like, this is plenty of time. Like, that's the pocket right there. 1, 2. I know I'm slow-moing it, but he's a good 3 seconds in the pocket, and then is able to. They continue on it, able to escape. So,
yeah,
just another great play. I know it's a lot of North Dakota State film here, but we'll get to some of the other ones too. But just want to show it. So we have Pop on one side, Jam on the other. So you can kind of see now they're kind of working it over, and this time they win, right? And this is one that I always talk about. The guy that sets the pick, right? He's working there and then trying to be the contain guy. But a lot of times we have what I call like this ricochet effect, right? You work to this guy and he almost ricochets you off back inside. And we kind of see that here, whereas one works to him, he bangs off him, boom, and then it kind of ricochets right back in for the sack. And in theory, he's the contain guy, but again, he's at the point of contain right here. He's even, go ahead and collapse. The safety does a good job, the center does a good job of working in 94 and just blowing his butt out of there. But that ricochet effect, and I tell guys this all the time on the D-line stunts. I'm not a D-line expert. I've learned a lot, but the guy that sets the pick very often makes the sack when you think that it would be the other way around, but it's because of that kind of ricochet factor. I'm just using my terms here, but really, really nice rep here by one.
He has leverage on, essentially you end up with 2 guys in the B gap, right? And that's
correct.
Tough for an offense. You don't want to see that chaos of them being double gapped. And I used to hate it. It's almost like when you're playing a game of poker and someone hits when they shouldn't hit, right? It's that chaos thing that really messes you up, and you go, well, they won because they did something that was just kind of chaotic.
You trying to say blackjack here? What are we going here? Poker?
Yeah, but blackjack, my bad. Blackjack, my bad.
All right, here we go. Let's watch a little against Furman here. There's another jam stunt. So this time, right, kind of same effort. It's a quick. Furman does a good job getting it out here. All in all, pretty good job on the protection there. They turn it that way, so it works out. Matt, what are you looking for when you get? Would you rather have the half slide to the stunt? I take it because obviously it's not the man side there. What's a perfect scenario?
Perfect scenarios they don't stunt. Perfect. Yeah, you want your center to be working towards that A-gap defender usually. So here where they're lined up in 2-2s, you got to have some sort of rule of here's why. For me, it was always we would have gone away from the back.
Yeah.
So, but our back was usually involved. For us, it was a 6-man protection. But here they go towards the back, so I'm not sure really what their rules are. It is tough for that center if he can't stall that guy and prevent him from crossing his face, then that becomes very tough for him to stick with it.
Yeah, there's one more I particularly want to get to because it was a nasty one. I just want to hear you explain it. Let's see if we can get to it. I believe it was against VMI, so I'll see if I can find this clip. That's a pretty good one right here. So now we're going to get, this is almost nice. They almost do like an interior pop stunt. So it's not between the 3 and the 5. This time it's between, the shade, a 2-eye and a 5. I believe he's going to be the one right here that sets it. And then he's going to come inside. If this is the clip I'm thinking about. No, it's not. Sorry, it's on the other side. So we're going to get it on the right side. So it's between that right there, that 2-eye and that 5. But boy, it hits real quick when they're tight like that over the tight end. We see now this action right here. It'll draw and then boom right there. And they get the running back slid to it. But I mean, the running back's to it here.
Yeah. Yeah, running back just ends up wide. You always want the running back to be inside out there. I think he just sees the guy stunning outside and gets width instead of keeping his eyes inside.
Yeah, really nice stunt there. And then this may have been my favorite one. Now it's the next time they run it. Maybe this is it. Nope, it was the one before. Sorry. So this time we're going to get the DN wrapping all the way to the center. No, he eats it on this one. There's one where he gets there. This time he actually falls down. Trying to find the one where the DN gets all the way across the face. Maybe this is it. Oh, it comes from the opposite side here. So this is kind of a fun one. So look at the backer all the way here. This is kind of a 5-man game. He's involved. And now he's going to come all the way across.
And it looks like the other two guys are cool with just jetting upfield just to draw the O-line, which makes sense. I mean, look at 68. He's stuck in a position where he's got to get on that guy's hip and run with him, right?
Yep.
So that's really going to clear space. I mean, great play design here. You'd figure 21 would be helping out inside, but I guess he checked and was out on his route.
Yeah, so, it's always hard to tell the protections, and I know we're just kind of talking through theory here, but this is kind of cognizant, an outside version of it, of one of my favorite stunts, which is, think bear front, and then the 0 and the 3 will actually pick, one direction for the other 3 to wrap around. We call it magic. And this is very similar to this, where you have 2 guys picking for 1. It just creates just such a tough thing for the O-line to handle, because when you're stunting across 3 and 4 guys, it's really tough. But on the same note, you can't run it all the time, right? Because, Matt, if it's 3rd and 4 and you guys run power and we run the stunt, we could be in trouble.
Yeah. And I love teams that would stunt, man, especially if we're running the ball. Pass protection a little bit tougher. You're running the ball, zone, power, man, that's a blessing.
There's the key right there, right? It's 3rd and 10. So,
yeah.
Let's look at one more. Let's see if we can get one more sack in here. Here's one more sack. Just going hard on the offense today. So one more pop stunt here against ETSU. Really, this is an effort one, so I don't even like this one as much. Thought they did a pretty good job picking it up.
Center did a good job.
Yeah. I think that's it for the thing. So anyways, Matt, talking a little bit about that. So, just from your point of view, things in the past that you've worked on, what kind of drills do you work on with stunts? Let's say you hit a team that week that's stunting a whole lot, 2-man game, 3-man game, whatever it is. What are you guys doing in practice that week to get ready for stunts?
So, I used to try to find their 4 best blitzes or 4 best stunts, and let's zone in on those, because usually that's about what a defense will carry going into it. And if you got a defense that's really all over the place, you might have to focus in on it more that week. But usually in high school, you're going to get some straight blitzes, mainly, maybe 1 or 2 stunts. Yeah. So, we used to do a lot on cans or on, with the run game, just on trash cans, but we'd have some live bodies just holding dummies, and we would be half speed. They'd be moving to gaps, showing the same thing that the stunt shows. It's hard to replicate it with backup offensive linemen replicating what a good D lineman can do, right? But we can get the idea there, right? Those little picks or the little details you have to work out. We'd basically do our half slide. If we're doing our 5-man, big on big protection, we'd work that, and then we'd work our half slide each ways. We'd bring the running backs down, and it'd just be the running backs and O-line talking through it and making sure we were all mentally on the same page for how to pick up these blitzes and stunts. And, you kind of as a coach will then see what's going to give your kids issues that you can focus in on. So I'd try to hit that on Monday and then rep it again either Tuesday or Wednesday and really hone in on what we struggled with on that Monday rep.
Yeah, and I think defensively, it's a couple things. As we're coming up with our pressures and our stunts, the first thing we have to identify is, what do they like to do in pass pro and how do we break that, right? If they're a full slide team, we know we want to bring 2 off the edge. If they're a half slide team, we can start to play the interior games and things of that nature. But the other piece I liked later on in my career was taking that into pass rush I always hated one-on-one pass rush, but could we do some kind of team pass rush where we're working our stunts, we're working things? And more so for us, and I didn't show it, there were a couple clips in there I should have shown with Mercer, was we're working to a primary run fit gap on our stunts, then stunting. is how we did it, right? So we may have those two interior linemen working A and B gap, and then one of them is going to loop back out to C gap. But understanding that, so in those pass rush drills, giving the the offense a chance to just put the ball down and quote run the ball. So we were making sure we were fitting primary gaps and making the ball spill outside, because that's a lot of times we stunt, we're okay with the ball bouncing outside with the running back. So that was a big piece of what we did late when we got really good was, right, we needed, just like you said, it's really hard to get a look. Where can we get a look? Pass rush. And instead of one-on-one, like, it is like one-on-one, like, do I really need my 5 tech out there practicing a spin move on 27 reps and
right.
Stop it.
Yeah.
But now we can get out there. Hey, let's practice this pop. And what happens when you get a power read out of pop, right? Or a power away or power to you or zone away or zone to you. Who's the cue player now? Because that was always important for us, right? The wrapper had to become the cue player. So we had to understand that and all those different aspects of it. So really good stuff. I as I've gotten older, I've liked D-line stunts more, but early on, I don't think I understood them enough. So we never ran them. Back in the day, Matt, we used to be against running them at Oviedo more so because as a coach, I probably didn't have a good enough concept to run them. So I think they're awesome for the toolbox, but you have to understand how to run them and what to do against run when you run them. And I think that's where it starts. How do we stunt to run fits and then stunt to the pass? So
as a head coach, I always felt like it put us out of position more than get us to a good spot. If our guys didn't execute it properly, it was very tough. So you got to have a lot of trust in your defensive line. You got to have a talented defensive line to do these, I believe, and it can enhance your performance. But if you have guys that are not going to go and do the correct thing every rep, then you might put yourself in a bad spot.
Yeah, I think it starts with having guys with great effort, right? If you can teach great effort, you can do anything because even when they do mess up, they're going to have great effort to the football. So, like anything on defense, great effort solves a lot of problems. If 11 hats get to the ball, you feel really good about no matter what you're running because you're probably doing pretty well. So anyways, Matt, thanks for joining me, talking a little D-line stunts. For me and Matt, we'll see you next time on another Board Drill Quick Hit.